So if you remember, a few weeks ago, I posted a video about a nice trick to simplify the way that we handle weak self in closures. And this video, it's kind of a sequel because this time I want to show you that in some instances it's actually possible not to capture self at all. But before we dive in, if you're not sure what weak self or retain cycle means, well, a link to the first video is going to appear at the top of the screen, so I suggest you go check it out and then come back to this video. So let's take a look at this code. You can see I have three classes. The first one is a service. So basically it mocks some class that performs some kind of calls to retrieve some data. And the other one is a formatter, so a class that holds some business logic. And finally we have a view controller. So we can see the view controller owns an instance of the service, an instance of the formatter. It also owns a label, and in view did load what's happening is that we are making a call to the service, and then using combine we take the result, we format it, and we display it on the label. So a little side note before we go any further. For the purpose of this video, I've simplified the architecture of this small snippet of code to the maximum. Of course, in a real project, you wouldn't want to architecture your code like this because it's almost guaranteed to lead to a massive view controller. But it's a nice shortcut to keep things simple in this video. So what's the issue here? Well, the closure that we pass into the method sync is escaping, so it can potentially cause a retain cycle. And we can see that in this closure, we are indeed capturing self in order to access the formatter and the label. So to solve the issue, we could go the route of using a weak self. But if we do, then we would have to deal with an optional version of self, and that's not what we want because we've seen in the first video that it adds a lot of extra syntax. But in this instance, we can highlight the fact that we don't actually need to capture self, because what we really need in the closure is the formatter and the label. We don't actually need self, we need two objects that are owned by self. And so in order to solve the issue, we're going to use this syntax right here, which is called a capture list in Swift, and we can do much more than just capturing a weak instance of self with it. Because if I remove the content of the capture list, instead I can say that I want to capture the formatter and the label. Now I can remove self from my closure. Now this code works because in my closure, thanks to the capture list, I do have two local variables that hold strong references to the formatter and the label. And since we are no longer retaining self directly, we no longer run the risk of creating a retain cycle. And since we haven't used the weak self solution, we also don't have to deal with potential optional value that could be nil. So it's really a best of both worlds, and there are actually a lot of instances where in a closure we are capturing self, but we're not really interested in self, but rather in objects owned by self. So that's all for this new video about how to efficiently deal with weak self in Swift. Now you know how things go on YouTube. If you have enjoyed the video, you can like, comment, share, subscribe. You can do all of these things. Thank you for watching and see you next time.